Hi everyone, it's Blair, and I'm back with you to talk about the next steps in our fourth quarter Smart System Data Initiative. I hope you found the work you did in October of redefining your task types to be productive. That work from October is going to be really important for the next step we're going to be undertaking in November, which is using that info to retrain all ambassadors in their understanding of tasks and categories specific to your program. So what's November going to look like? We're going to ask you not only retrain, but spend some time each day validating what you expect with the new definitions is actually happening in the system. So let's take this step by step. First, let's talk about step one, which is the actual retraining of your team. We recommend that you retrain your team in small groups based on functional areas. For example, it's ideal to train your cleaning ambassadors together and your safety ambassadors together. It's best to train the ambassadors based on the different stat dashboards you have. If you have merged ambassadors who do everything as part of their duties, you can obviously train this as one large group. In addition to training your teams by function, here's also a couple things we're asking. First, have your training materials filled out. Again, you can see examples of these training materials on the SharePoint page. Second, create a few examples of scenarios that happen in the field each and every day. You can find some stats are multi-step. For example, some may be a stat that also leads to an incident report being required. Please identify 3 to 5 scenarios and talk through them as part of the retraining of your team. Let's move on and talk about step number 2 in November's work. Through a lot of interactions with our frontline team members that are working in the field, we've found that our team members don't always feel like they understand why putting things in the SMART system is important. Because in most cases, they never see the results of what they put in the system after they've completed a task. It's like something that magically just goes up in the cloud and they never hear about it again. So we need to fix that. In an effort to take a big step forward in everyone's engagement with the system, we're going to ask you to take a few minutes several times per week throughout this month to debrief with your ambassadors. The purpose of this is to share collective stats that have been entered throughout the shift and how each person has contributed to the total stats of the team. You'll see we've made this easier as we've enhanced the Stats by Ambassador report from the reports menu. You'll see we've changed how this report displays so the activities are across the top and the ambassador names are on the left. We've also built this report so that it only populates those ambassadors who have activity on the shift. We recommend that you run this report several times a week and have a shift debrief before the ambassadors go home. We also recommend you export this report to a CSV because it allows you to adjust the columns to make it easier to read. You can also filter activities so you can be seeing the 5 to 10 activities that matter most to your team. Here's a tip. You can also set it up to run daily at the end of each shift by saving them as a My Report. Of course, you'll need to set it up to run before the end of the shift so your report can be generated and hit your inbox before the ambassadors leave. Based on when your shift's cut off and the time it takes for the report to be automated and sent, we'd recommend setting the filter to be 1 hour before the shift is over. But this still gives you plenty of time to talk about the data and the team's totals for each shift and how each person is contributing. Okay, so that's the task at hand for November. First, retrain your staff, and second, share the accomplishments of your shifts so that ambassadors understand why their stats matter in the overall contributions to the team stats. I hope you have a great November and a great Thanksgiving. I'll be back with you in late November to talk about building reports. We'll see you soon.